What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Rogue Trader. I am just now getting on for the day. The massive golden structure never stops moving for a moment. Light bounces off the orbits and figures representing celestial bodies. Basically, what I was going to say is I have been feeling under the weather today, and so if I sound different, that's why, is what I was going to say. Where are we supposed to go? I don't remember. Cargo manager. App, journal. Just left clear away. Just find the cause of delay. I don't know what this is. Cooperative mode? Oh, I'm good. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you. I hear lots of shooting over in this direction. The bridge is raised. Can we see the people they're shooting at? Yeah, we can. You guys aren't really hitting much, are you? There's Mort. Providence, you're alive and well. Always on time, eh, Kunrad? The moment we finish chasing the riffraff around the deck, you show up. Always just after the fighting's done. You could set your chrono by it. Kunrad pointedly looks away from the arch-militant to you. Mort, pull yourself together. The arch-militant looks back at you. What did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We are all done here. I'll report right away. Mort pulls his vox from his belt and hurriedly reports the situation. Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? The Voxnet is silent. The Vox Master is not responding. Armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my arch-militant just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Report! I've not yet received word from the Engineerium regarding any Geller field failures, but communications were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I am receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and the only voxcasts from the lower bays are the one-way heretical gibberish. Voidship pauses. That the madmen have already reached the officer's desk suggests that this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny. Let's see here. We must provide immediate assistance to those who are still in the middle decks. Perhaps we might be able to stop this wave from spreading. First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the navigator's sanctum are secure, and I have means to do both things at once. Her expression changes, and her eyes flash ominously. Theodore looks at Vlichtver. Edelthrad, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A psycho aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by the warp could pose an even greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons. Try to locate him, but the last thing known about his movements is that he arrived on transitional deck 18. Blast it. Master of Whispers, find Edelthrad immediately. Seneschal, locate Class and the Sister of Battle. Both are to remain on my side. Arch-militant with me, I must go to my study. It appears that we might encounter heretics along the way. Gregor, Theodore glances at you thoughtfully. If I may, Lord Captain, Vlichtver's voice is soft and cautious. Transitional deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Edelthrad back, I could use some support. After all, I'm not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the house as the esteemed arch-militant, and taking into consideration Edelthrad's psychic powers... Then it's settled. Gregor, find Edelthrad and bring him here. In whatever state you find him, this elevator, she points at the massive doors, leads to restricted compartments, such as my personal chambers and bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand? I hear and obey, Lord Captain. Theodore waves a hand impatiently. Then move out. Mort, come. We got this. Can we move now? We can, yay. Great success, very neat. Voidship gives you a nod. Are you ready to head to 18? It's a long walk and you don't even have the proper gear. I shall make do, lead the way. Of course you will. He rummages in his pocket for something. Lady Theodora would never have someone she couldn't rely on as one of her heirs, but that is no longer relevant. With a pop and a sharp crackle, something hits you in the abdomen and you're consumed by an unbearable gut-wrenching pain. Traitor! Traitor! I promised you a special destiny, Gregor. It's time to fulfill it. Wow. Traitor! I can't believe he's done this. Who would have expected the spy master to be responsible for something? Dude, he's the master of whispers. He should have known something was happening before it happened. Obviously, he's the bad guy. Makes sense.
Careful, careful.
Oh, thank God.
Be gentle with our guest. He has an important mission to complete during our visit to the warrant chamber. And for that, I need him breathing. Oh, you are back with us, I see. Delightful.
Void there, you two-faced scum. You're the one behind this mayhem.
How perceptive of you. I'll help you with the next insight. I need you here for your blood. You have the option to share it voluntarily, or I will squeeze it out of you myself. We are in the anteroom of the warrant chamber, this voidship's most hallowed vault. There, beyond those gates, lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power. The sacred warrant of trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it. The gates of the chamber are guarded by the Sentinel, an ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the Sentinel.
What is it, inbred? Your blood too thin for the Sentinel?
On the contrary, the warp's blessing has raised me too much above your kind, Fon Valencius. The Sentinel refused to submit to me. But you can help. After all, isn't that what family is for?
Why are you doing this?
Why? Because I am following an order. What is happening on this ship right now has been in the making for a very long time. All that remains is to obtain what my master sent me for. The warrant of trade.
I have no intentions of helping you.
I am afraid that you have no choice in the matter. Try to resist, and I will demonstrate the power that the warp holds over mortals. Come to think of it, I might even take some pleasure in doing so.
To the void with you. One of the available dialogue options requires making a skill test. Unlike with passive tests, these are made automatically. In this case, you can decide whether or not to select the option, the consequences of which will depend on the result of the associated test. Success or failure affects how the dialogue will develop. Depending on the context, you might change the course of the conversation, alter the character's attitude, or perform an action whose consequences will only become apparent later. However, hover your cursor over the dialogue option that requires a skill test, and you will see a tooltip detailing the chances of success. The number after any skill's name indicates the difficulty of the test. Once your character starts traveling with allies, the party member with the highest score and the applicable skill will be selected for each test. Got it. The blade flashes in the dim light and drops of blood appear on your palm. For a brief moment you feel nauseous, your head is spinning, and then quiet whispers begin to flood your mind. More and more sourceless voices echo each other, drowning out your own thoughts, replacing with the singular urge. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. So I can't actually hover over this? Fight the voice in your head. Get out, I'm not your puppet. The voice in your head giggle and mock your desperate outcry. You feel this intruding influence forcing you onto your feet and making you take a step forward, the gates looming in the center of the chamber. Damn. My willpower is not strong enough. In the gateway arch, you see a cogitator with a human likeness built into the front panel. As you approach, the torso twitches slightly. This is a servitor, an obedient automaton created from a lobotomized human being. The Sentinel turns its head to you, one of its eye sockets lighting up to ember-like irises. 70% chance. It's not too bad, I would say. Oh! You look over the gate cogitator. There's little chance you'll be able to discern anything about its design. Like any other sacred machine in the Imperium, this relic especially of the machine cult of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Dang it! The servitor in the gate begins to move. With a screeching and groaning of metal, it leans forward closer to you, its lower jaws open with a drawn-out shriek, much wider than the jaw of a living human could. The servitor's mouth is filled with the sharp, metallic fangs that glint in the dim light. The vid screen to the right of you lights up, showing strings of mysterious symbols on the green background. A whisper runs through your consciousness. insisting, demanding sacrifices. The voices that filled your head after the Voidver wounded you with his blade did not go away. On the contrary, the source coiled itself into a tight knot somewhere in the depths of your mind. Examine the Sentinel. The servitor looks noticeably different from the ones you're used to. Its skin covered and is stitched together with copper thread, and its metal hinges in place of the standard joints. It seems the creators of the Sentinel did everything to ensure that the service of this life of this unit would be much longer than that of ordinary automatons. Look for anything that can be used as a weapon. You look around in hopes of finding at least something that could work as a weapon. Your search is in vain. The chamber anteroom is completely empty and is in perfect working condition. Nary a broken panel or a protruding piece of rebar in sight.
Did you forget something? I suggest you hurry.
Place your hand into the Sentinel's maw. The Sentinel's jaw clamps around your hand, puncturing your skin and sinking into your flesh. Few dark drops fall into the servitor's throat, and immediately you hear humming as the server motors start up and the pumps stir into motion. The vidscreen of the cogitator flickers. Several long minutes pass. The Sentinel's jaws remain closed, and if you're beginning to feel sick, perhaps if you were to lean against the gate, you could catch your breath. Maybe even close your eyes and pretend this had never...
High levels of caustic humus. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance?
You do not understand where this quiet voice is coming from. Crackling like static. Is it the Sentinel, the cogitator? Is it a figment of your weary mind? Whichever it is, you can clearly hear the words. Yes, I do require assistance. Pain shoots through your head and subsides just suitably. It seems the entity coiled in your consciousness does not have the ability to do you any real harm.
Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol.
Oh, really? Wait, cool. I hope this actually works. This is sick. Jesus.
Well, there is still another way.
Nice. Check the warrant chamber. Dude, that was sick. That was sick. The enormous gates that match the importance of the thing they protect. The massive doors are made of heavy metal and look to be impregnable.
Keep your wits about you.
Whoa, that thing is enormous. Let it be known that by my will and the true words of this document, I appoint this person to be the bearer of the warrant of trade and bestow upon them their dynasty and the great mission to be the paragon of humanity, unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely first into darkness, to triumph over nightmares untold, to hold bodily the reins of fate, to walk steadily the roads of thorns, through pain to greatness.
Escort the child of the house to safety.
I need a weapon. I'm utterly defenseless.
Distance from the current location to the nearest arsenal. Initiating situational calculations.
Need to contact someone, preferably Theodora.
Voxcast frequencies disrupted. Initiating setup. Establishing connection.
Voxmaster, restore communication with the navigator's sanctum. I'm trying to contact the bridge. If anyone can hear me on this frequency, regroup all available forces and head to the upper decks at once. I repeat, regroup all forces and head...
Communication protocols breached. Signal latency assessment unavailable. Unable to establish two-way connection.
What madness is happening here? Who are you? Who addresses me?
Temporary obnubilation following acute stress. Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel standing by.
Are you the Warrant Sentinel?
Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel, designed as a personal escort of the child of the house and a means of communicating with the rogue trader's subjects. Mobile unit standing by.
Lead me away from here.
Middle and upper decks. Assuming the probability of safe placement in areas of concentration of armed units. Calculating. To prevent unauthorized units from breaching the warrant chamber, preemptive sealing must be initiated. The mobile unit will start executing the received order immediately after the safety of the warrant is secured.
Journal. As the game story unfolds, you will see notification at the top of your screen indicating the status of your current objective has been updated, and that new information has been added to your journal. You can open the journal with J, clicking the left mouse button on the journal for notifications. Journal entries help keep track of current events and guide your character on their journey. Quest tab tracks the progress of the main story. Here you can find information about quests you've accepted and their current status. Use the journal to help you understand where to go next on the steps of your adventure. The rumors and contracts sections also contain important information. Alright, well. Simple order, the Sentinel cogitator will lock them. Yeah, so we just go out here and we talk to this guy, I'm guessing.
Keep your eye on the prize.
Master, whatever are you doing in the warrant chamber? How did you... Throne preserve me, what is the meaning of this?
Woundred Voigtvir is a traitor. When we parted ways in the officer's deck, he stunned me somehow and brought me here.
What?
He intended to take revenge on Theodora for something, and is trying to reach the warrant was somehow part of that plan.
Oh, holy God, Emperor. I presume he is the one responsible for the mutiny. And, Master, I wish to remind you that you are to refer to the Lord Captain as Lady Theodora.
Voigtvir openly admitted that he is the mastermind behind the mutiny.
Saints' blood! Then it is small wonder that the heretics are so well organized. I thought his order to seal the passages between decks was his attempt to stop the attackers from spreading to other levels. But now I see the real reason. It was to stop the enforcers from intervening. At least you are alive, and now safe, Master. Alas, I doubt we can afford to look for a compartment to sit out this disaster. You're in a bad way. I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicaid kit with me. And, for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without means of self-defense. Here.
We get a melee weapon. Axe have a special attack that inflicts bleeding. It's primitive. An auto pistol, solid projectile weapons that have a plus 50% over penetration. Most non-ranged weapon have attack to cause over penetration. This damage happens. The attack will also damage the creatures and objects behind the intended target. Okay. Black chest plate and a medikit. Contains facious cataplasm patches, antiseptics. So medkit. Got it. While fighting, your character can lose some of their wounds. Your character has suffered an injury after being attacked by Kunrad. This happens when a character receives damage that exceeds 50% of their maximum wounds within one round. The exact percentage of wounds character must lose for the stab and vary on the difficulty. It was 30%, I think, for us. Injuries reduce the character's resolve. When a character initially suffers an injury, it's considered a fresh injury during the first 3 rounds. Once 3 rounds have passed, fresh injury becomes an old injury. An old injury can be healed using a medikit without passing any skill tests. A fresh injury can be healed without passing a skill test. Old injuries can be healed with a medikit, but they require the character administering the treatment to pass a Medicaid skill test to succeed. And Medicaid is from intelligence. Use medikits to restore wounds and heal injuries. Note that a character loses all their wounds if they fall unconscious. Or if they lose all their wounds, they fall unconscious. Once combat is over, the wounds of all party members are replenished automatically, but any injuries they may have sustained, those can be healed with medikit. Medikits can only be used by characters with a field medics feature, base skill Medicaid, or have taken the Medicaid skill advancement at least once. Whenever a character uses a medikit in battle, a Medicaid skill test determines the number of wounds that will be restored as a result. Abelard can heal your character's injury. Left click on Abelard's portrait, select the medikit on the panel on the bottom left of the screen, and then use it on your character. It needs to be standing next to you. Okay? You've got new items. Eye for items. Let's check it out. Let's definitely equip an axe up in here. And I don't think you get any penalties for equipping both, so we'll throw both on too. So let's see, we can see the 9 to 11 damage, 15 penetration. We got a sweep attack that hits more than one thing, it looks like, or a swing attack. And then we also have a sweep attack. And they can inflict bleeding. Okay. 9 to 11 damage. This one does 3 to 4 damage, but can do a burst shot. Interesting. And this has 20% armor, but dodge penalty. Character wearing this armor will have dodged 23% of average enemy attacks in this chapter. Interesting. And this chapter is an odd thing to say. Let's get your medikit equipped here, since I can't even use them. And then if we click
We are the spearhead of the Imperium.
Equip new weapons and armor. Yes. You can switch between. Yep, figured that out all on my own. Thank you.
This wound will make a that is a noticeable improvement. Now you're prepared for the trials ahead. The lower decks are teeming with heretics instigating the rabble to revolt. But that is the least of our problems. The ship's enforcers are rounding up the scoundrels and suppressing the resistance. The situation on the middle decks is much worse, although strike teams have already been dispatched there. All communication with the bridge and the engineering bay was lost. So, apart from scattered voxcasts, we have no information to go on. But that is not the worst of it. All these jolts and shaking are most alarming. These are signs that the navigator and the master helmsman are having difficulty translating the ship out of the warp and into real space. I fear that they may have already lost control. We must reach the navigator's sanctum and get a handle on the situation. If we can manage that, some aboard this vessel may yet survive.
What exactly has gone wrong with the translation?
I am no helmsman, or God Emperor preserve me navigator. However, I've spent my entire life aboard void ships equipped with warp drives, and I know that portents such as these do not bode well. It could be that the Geller field has faltered. Perhaps the navigator was struck down by warp corruption and is fighting for the last shreds of his humanity as we speak. If we get thrown off course, we will be forever lost in the war. Naturally, we would likely not have long to live in that scenario. But I will not resign myself to such an outcome just yet.
How did you find me?
You sent me a Vox message. Specifically, a Vox cast on the officer's frequency, which I had the good fortune to receive. You mean to say you did no such thing?
I think the warrant Sentinel may have sent that message. It appeared when I opened the chamber.
Warrant Sentinel? The Lord Captain barely ever ventures down to the chamber, and I was at her side only once or twice when she did. And I did not see anything of the sort. The warrant chamber is an ancient and rather sacred mechanism that the ship's tech priests treat with the utmost reverence. I assume that whatever it is that you did, you must have activated certain processes and caused the Sentinel to awaken. But then, why did none of it happen when Lady Theodora did the same?
What can we expect to find on the Navigator's Sanctum?
During warp transit, the Sanctum is closed to all who are not involved in traversing the Imperium. And for good reason. For the Navigator to open their third eye and perceive the way, the Sanctum must be bathed in the energies of the immaterial. Only a Navigator can withstand such an ordeal. For the rest of us, any contact with the warp is fraught with perils such as loss of sanity, spontaneous mutations, and death.
Heard one of Theodora's Vox casts.
Lady Theodora's.
Sorry.
Which one? The last one I received was about the Navigator's Sanctum, and that was a good while ago. In any case, let us hope that the Lord Captain is well and safely in charge of the ship's defense. In the meantime, we must do all we can to prevent the ship from veering off course.
Well, the Imperium and humanity lead the way, Seneschal.
Come.
To arms, loyal sons and daughters of the God Emperor. Fight the heresy and corruption that threatens to consume our home, and with all your might destroy those who have dared.
The Lord Captain is calling her crew to battle, which means the Vox networks are set up for broadcast transmission, not message exchange. Splendid. While the rogue trader inspires proper resolve to fight in her subjects, you and I shall prove that her trust in us is well deserved. Onward!
Onward, yes. Oh, well. Can we get those defenses back up?
Your demise
Tactical
is already
phase.
calculated.
Combat begins with a tactical phase, during which characters cannot attack or take actions but may try to set up advantageous positions. Select a character by clicking left mouse button on their portrait at the top of the screen, then click the left mouse button on the cell you want the character to move to. Red cells are inaccessible to the character. During the tactical phase, each character in the party may move up to their maximum movement point but cannot position themselves adjacent to an enemy. Okay. So is F5 auto saving or quick saving? It is. Alright, so we got some cutthroats up in here. We got some babies up in here too. So we don't want to position next to. But I mean, honestly, like, he got a sword. I got a sword. Because there's not really anywhere to, like, get some cover. Well, they go before us, so maybe we like start in the back, maybe. And we don't want to like be next to each other because we did see that there are some sweep attacks. Friendly fire. Be careful, your companions can get hurt by your burst shots. Ablard's ability. Your new companion is a warrior. Ablard specializes in melee combat and drawing the enemy's attacks. Charge's unique warrior ability that only works when using a melee weapon is not considered an attack action. Charge from close distance between your enemy and deal damage. Left click on the ability to use it. If the enemy is in a direct path of charge, Ablard will attack them and will still be able to use an attack action afterwards if he has not used one this turn. Note the charge can only be used to characters 2 or more cells away. This character is using a melee weapon. Melee attacks require the character to be adjacent. To make a melee attack, left mouse button on the strike ability, then your character wish to attack. Unlike single shots, melee attacks hit automatically with no need for a roll. The enemy will try to dodge and parry the attack if they're using a melee weapon of their own. Melee weapons can be used to make area attacks. All creatures in the area will suffer the damage unless they succeed on a dodge check. Damage dealt is from the strength. Great. Let's move you up.
Reduce to dust.
Beautifully done. Characters with melee weapons can make an attack of opportunity if an opponent adjacent cell initiates movement. It can also be triggered by some abilities. All characters with melee weapons, including you members of your party, can make attack of opportunity. The chance to hit and deal damage is calculated just like a normal attack. Okay, great. What's this? For one round, the Navy officer and their allies in the 3-star race gain a +2 deflection for each type archetype. Okay.
Indeed.
Yeah, let's do that. So I mean, he's gonna get attacked. And then I really can't get in there to attack anyone else, so in turn. Combat abilities of the characters differ depending on their archetype. Available abilities are located at the bottom right of the screen. Yes, yes, yes. Click to use the ability. For the ability, you get a review of its estimated outcome while hovering your cursor. You also see the abilities area your effect. Okay. If the ability's effect is guaranteed to work, the ability icon is displayed instead of a number. During your adventures, your characters will gain new abilities and talents. So if I wanted to do this, I could swing at them.
I'll make it happen. On it.
Okay, so that does trigger that. And does not give me the chance to do that. And I should have done this. I need to remember to do this. This is throwing me off for sure. Melee superiority. So you just shot his ally.
Duty go hand in hand.
Oof. Beating me up here, guys.
Victory is imminent.
So we got a parry there, that's fine. We don't want to initiate movement. It can only be used once per combat, okay. That's the bleeding attack, gotcha.
Who if not me never stood a chance.
How dare you? It's okay, we didn't really need it there. That's fine. But still. So he's got some old injuries at the moment. That didn't seem like it went according to plan there, bud. So if I were to move here, and I think that's highlighted by the red, it would cause an attack of opportunity. But if I were to just cleave...
I will do my...
Dang, gotta dodge. Move and attack. The order you're taking matters. Your character can only move around the battle before the attack. Once your character attacks, they lose movement points. Got it.
It's as good as your end was inevitable. I'll see to it personally.
I've suffered worse.
That guy's just killing all of his teammates, isn't he?
At your beck and call. I took care of this one.
So we've obliterated them. You can advance the level of your character and companions, prevailing in battles, exploring the Koronus Expanse, and completing quests to earn your experience points. Once you've accumulated enough experience, your character gains a new level. Click on the arrow symbol on each character's portrait to level up. Each level offers your character new progression options, include talents, abilities, and skill improvements, and other enhancements. Your companions gain new levels at the same time as your character, even if they are not included. Nice. So if we want to level up, we do this. There we go. We click here. There we go. Okay. We've got... Oh, it's very simple. So we click here. We go. Okay, we choose a new skill. Available skills. So we can pick a skill to pick. So we can pick Carouse, resist negative effects, athletics, traverse difficult terrain, coercion. So these are based upon toughness and strength. And this is on fellowship, demolition, Medicae, and we're outclassed. So I mean, I think I'm gonna take Koronus. Yeah. And then we complete. Cool, I like that. That's actually really cool. And if we click here, you've got one as well. Available skills, and then it's like, oh, you could also take this or this. So you're dealing with high toughness, high strength, and then mediocre everything else. So you're not really about anything else either. You're kind of we'll take athletics. We'll kind of try to space things out here. Looks like we got some looting to do. Defeated enemies have no further need for their former belongings. You can discover valuable trophies among them by left clicking on a defeated enemy. Items on the right side of the trophy collection window go to your inventory. Such items can be used or equipped by your characters. Items on the left are packed up as cargo and sent to your ship, which can be later used to trade. Neat. You can move trophies from one side of the window to the other by double clicking or dragging them. Okay. So we can use a sword, which is just not as good, it would seem. But it does give more parry, but minus into enemy weapon skill. Just more parry, but it's one possible less damage and not as much armor pen. I think we're gonna send those to the cargo.
Let us not dawdle.
Las pistol. We'll take the las pistol. We'll go ahead and equip that over that. Just in case we need you have a ranged option. There you go. All right, guys, that's gonna do for this first episode, I think. Thank you guys for hanging out. I will see you all in. I'm just checking out the corners here. The next one. Peace.